Are you feeling confused about which therapeutic diet to choose, or are you hopping back and forth between different elimination diets? Watch this video to learn how to choose the right elimination diet. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Amanda Malacheski. I'm a certified functional health coach and digestive and allergy detective. For the best tips and tricks about how to navigate your digestive and allergy challenges, subscribe to my channel and be sure and hit the bell to be notified when I release a new video every Monday. Not a week goes by where I don't see people freaking out over on a Facebook group trying to figure out which diet is the right diet that's really going to fix their problems. So this week, I wanted to take a moment and talk about how to choose the right elimination diet. So I'm going to help you get a little bit of clarity on this issue and help you understand how to choose the right diet to start. I like to help each and every client of mine get started like this because if you start in the right zone, it helps you get faster results. So I know that you can do this too, so let's get started. So if you haven't already succumbed to diet madness, the first thing I want to suggest for you is to try a basic elimination diet. And basically what this means is to eliminate gluten, dairy, and sugar, and this includes alcohol, for a period of about 30 days. And to generally eat a diet made up of whole, real foods, minus all the processed foods that are easily available and that we typically eat. Most people see a tremendous amount of relief of all kinds of inflammatory issues, including digestive issues, headaches, body pain, fatigue. A lot of people lose weight just with getting rid of these 3 foods. And I sometimes, depending on the situation, recommend people take the next 3 most common allergens. And these are corn, soy, and eggs. And that's it. Just these 3 to 6 foods for 30 days. And if you need a little bit more information about how to complete an elimination diet, check out How to Do an Elimination Diet. If the basic elimination diet hasn't helped and you suspect other types of food triggers, there are lots of other options, but which one do you choose? So I'm going to talk about gut problems next, since most of you here as subscribers are probably struggling with digestive issues. So the most useful place for you to start after you've completed the basic elimination diet is to work with either a low FODMAP or a specific carbohydrate diet. This diet helps reduce fermentable carbohydrates that are naturally present in vegetables and fruits and other foods that feed your gut bacteria, which can lead to bloating, diarrhea, constipation, and gut pain. You can learn more about this diet by watching the low FODMAP diet for IBS video. Links for that below. The next diet template I want to talk about a little is the Paleo diet template. And this diet is like the basic elimination diet, but it also removes grains and legumes. And this elimination diet is really widely useful and can be helpful if that basic elimination diet gave a little improvement, but not a lot. It's really helpful for, again, any kind of inflammatory issue, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, and so on. One of the downsides to paleo, however, is that because it removes so many starchy foods, it's generally thought of as a low-carb diet template, and some people have a hard time with this and may find that they have fatigue and energy and adrenal issues, or maybe even thyroid issues if they go too deeply into this low-carb aspect. The paleo diet is also sometimes a little bit on the high side with oxalate foods, and I'll talk more about those in a minute, and this can lead to some other issues. So again, like I said in the beginning, use this template but customize it and be mindful about how it's affecting your body and use it accordingly. Have you tried one of these therapeutic diets I'm talking about? Leave me a comment below to tell me about it. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the autoimmune paleo diet. And this is the diet template for you if you are facing an autoimmune diagnosis. And in the gut realm, this includes things like Crohn's disease, autoimmune SIBO, and celiac disease. If you have any of these diagnoses or any other autoimmune condition, this might be the diet template for you to explore. The autoimmune paleo diet is one of the most complicated and restrictive diet templates out there, and it has a tremendous amount of value for people who have autoimmune diseases, but it really must be customized, and ideally you would work with somebody to help you implement this diet. But the huge benefit is that it can really help you identify very specifically which foods are contributing to your autoimmune symptom flares. And when you understand this information, this gives you a tremendous amount of freedom and power over your symptoms. So if you're struggling with an autoimmune condition, I encourage you to check out the Autoimmune Paleo template. Next up is the Ketogenic Diet, which is a low-carb, moderate protein, and high-fat diet. The keto diet is best suited for you if you are obese or overweight, if you're diabetic, if you have cardiovascular disease, as well as for brain and nervous system issues such as Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, and ALS, as well as some types of cancer. And it's also shown a lot of benefit for people with autism. Keto's not a great diet template for you to choose if you're struggling with chronic low blood sugar issues, thyroid imbalance, hormone imbalance, gut problems, or gallbladder or liver trouble, and especially if you're already missing your gallbladder, or if you're already underweight. And if you had any of these conditions and wanted to explore using the keto diet, I highly recommend working with a professional to help you safely use this diet template. If you want to hear a little bit more about my thoughts about the keto diet, you can watch my video, Keto Diet for IBS, Good or Bad. So sometimes none of these other diets give you the results that you're looking for, and it becomes necessary to overlay some additional types of specialty diets over top. These types of specialty elimination diets should generally really be used with a professional who really understands the ins and outs of how to use them, and when there's clear clinical signs for their need. So for example, if you are someone who's exhibiting hives, itching, flushing, and diarrhea, this is a really clear symptom cluster that suggests there's a problem with histamine tolerance. And so the low histamine diet might be something to look at. So specialty diets include things like the low histamine diet I just mentioned, the low oxalate diet, a low salicylate diet, and a low glutamate diet. Most of these diets have really lengthy lists of foods to eliminate that contain these compounds, but this is where the customization piece is so important, because removing all of these foods isn't really advised. You have to really take this list and have some kind of methodical way to understand which specific foods are causing your symptoms and eliminate only those foods and not this huge giant list of potentially healthy foods. This is where I see a lot of people running into a lot of trouble when they try and overlay something like the histamine diet on top of the paleo diet or the AIP diet. They just get tied in knots and so frustrated and confused about what's right and what's okay for their body and what's not. And oftentimes these people end up in my office down to like 10 foods on their food list, and this just isn't really helpful for anybody. So do me a favor and get some help with these diets if you think they might be useful or helpful for you. Finally, if you try out a therapeutic diet for about a month and you haven't seen any improvement or very little improvement, maybe that diet template isn't the right place for you to start, and you may need to try something different, or you really may need to look a little deeper and understand, why are my symptoms persisting despite eating a really healthy diet? So now you know how to choose between the major elimination diets, but how do you use them? If you're struggling with which diet to choose, I'd like to invite you to schedule a free 30-minute assessment session with me. I've left a link where you can schedule that below, and I've also left links to videos with some more information about low FODMAP diets, keto diets, oxalate diets, and histamine diets. If you like this video, please let me know by liking it below, subscribe, and share it with your fellow digestively challenged friends or family, and comment below with a question you'd like me to answer in a future video. See you next time.